Welcome to the Slow Living Podcast. If you are ready to ditch hustle culture for good while continuing to meet your personal and professional goals, you are in the right place. I'm your host, Stephanie O'Day, and I work with overachievers from all over the world who are ready to stop living life in triage mode and start living the life of their dreams, one filled with abundance, joy, and a sense of purpose. Life is meant to be enjoyed, not endured. Let's get started. Hi there, Slow Down Society, and welcome back to another edition of the Slow Living Podcast. We're on episode 229, and this is the first part of session 3 with Shelly. We first met Shelly a few weeks ago. Actually, I guess it's been 5 weeks or so now because I break up the sessions in 2 parts for the podcast. So back in January 25th, so 225, episode 225, you can scroll back and when we first introduced Shelly. And what I like about Shelly is she's different than most of my other coaching clients, and she's frank and she's vulnerable in a new way. She is not growing children the way other podcasters that I've had on and coaching clients that have shared their stories spend a lot of time talking about growing future adults and that type of thing. Shelly doesn't have children, and Shelly is actively trying to untangle herself from being a little enmeshed with her dad and her dad's medical problems. And so I asked her to read The Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents. And so she has read a bit of that, and she's really working on protecting herself and creating boundaries. She can be helpful and useful without needing to do absolutely everything for her elderly dad. And that's a big part of what this episode is about. So take a listen and please give Shelly all the love that she deserves because she's pretty amazing and wonderful. Hello, Shelly. I missed you.
I know. It was I had horrible allergy flare up, which I never had until I was an adult. So go figure.
Your body changes.
Yeah.
It's kind of annoying. Yeah. So what have you been up to?
It's been a hectic week. Both of my bosses are out of town. They went completely opposite directions. So I am at work alone, and then I have all of their pets to take care of. So
Oh, you're
that's
in
a
charge of work and home for them.
yes. So it's been a little hectic. Um, but I still feel like I had a pretty good it's things have been getting better since the last time I talked to you. I'm just doing better with my dad. I'm done with all of the medical issues, so I'm just trying to shift our relationship to where, like, I invited him to go to an ice cream social on Saturday because I'm tired of the only times that we interact is when it has to do with his doctor appointments or all of his, you know, hundreds of medical issues. So, and that's making me feel less stressed.
How did you do that? How did you untangle yourself from all the medical
I
stuff?
think after talking to you, just the last, as little as we did, but saying things out loud where it just is like, you hear it in your own ears and you're like, this is ridiculous. I can't, I mean, because he's got a lot more, like just since the last time I talked to you, that he has to start going in for radiation, which will be every single day for 5 weeks. And I can't, I work. He has somebody that gets paid to take into appointments. And if they're not that reliable, he's going to have to figure that out.
Okay. Okay.
I think I just came to the conclusion when I hear it out loud, when I hear myself say, he has 14 appointments in less than a month. And I can't dedicate all that time. And mind space, it's maddening. So I'm just trying to shift the relationship to just being his daughter.
Okay.
I'm not his parent, I'm not his caretaker. But
Okay.
we'll see how I can keep up with that.
Okay.
We'll see how
How,
long it lasts.
how did he respond to that?
Um, I think he's okay. I honestly, I think he knows. Well, I know he knows because my face does not hide anything, and neither does my voice. I mean, even when I'm agreeing to do stuff, it's I just can't help it. I mean, I have a busy life, so I know he knows, but then but I'm just then he gets on the thing where he gets overly, I'm so sorry to be a burden, that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
And I'm just happen to ignore it and not respond to it.
For his like end of life care and that kind of stuff, is that all situated already? Do you have like POA and that kind of stuff?
Um, yes and no. That's also for as much of medical issues as he has. The very fact that if I ask him what he wants done when he passes, just I don't want to talk about it. I have finally gotten him to let me know that he does want to be cremated and have his ashes spread in a certain area, so that kind of stuff. But um, no, I'll just be taking care of whatever comes.
Okay. Um, in like the 3 year plan and that kind of stuff, when you're looking at finances, are you going to be responsible for all of that with your dad and his end of life care and wishes?
Um, he's got good insurance. He has a very limited income, but I mean, I don't, I think he has enough. I think that all that stuff is going to be covered.
Hmm.
But if it's not, no, I can't afford to.
Yeah. So it's not comfortable. They're not conversations anyone wants to have. But also, if he has been involving you in the past with his medical appointments and is leaning on you. So right now, which is fantastic, is you've untangled yourself from some of these medical appointments. But if he's going in for radiation and probably it's fair to say his health will continue to decline as the
Yeah.
years go on. And while this week might seem like you have more freedom, it might ramp up again. And
Yeah.
having that paperwork in place that if he isn't physically or cognitively able to make decisions that you can, um or someone, if it's
I
not
well, I
you.
know it's going to be me.
Okay.
I'm it. But I believe the last time we went to surgery, he did, and I have to double check and make sure I don't have a copy of it. He did the medical power of attorney. He does have a advanced directives in
Okay.
place, which
Okay.
of course he wants every single thing
Saving thing.
done. Yes,
Save me. Okay.
yes. So like
Okay.
I looked at him and I'm all, I don't know, I might trip over your plug. So
That's funny.
so I
Yeah.
feel better. I'm having a better week with regards to that
I'm
to
so
him.
glad. And you
So
feel relieved.
yes, yeah, so I can start, you know, because even if I'm not doing anything with him, I'm thinking about it and it makes me freeze up to where I can't do anything else.
Hmm.
It's yeah.
How did you become the caregivers of the pets for your bosses while they travel?
Um, well, they paid me very well for it. So that's how I paid for my housekeeper to come in once a week.
Okay. So they offered it to you, or you offered, or
Yeah.
how did that
So
come out?
originally we actually have dogs. Their dog and one of my dogs are actually litter mates. So we actually adopted them together from out of state. Um, so it's just and their dog comes to the shop every day. So
Hmm.
it's I feel like it's like an
Okay.
extension of my dogs.
Okay.
So it was never and it's and they when they take care of their animals, like they have cats and they bring their cats from we work at an airport, so we have several hangars next to each other and all the animals are there. So I'm
Okay.
not. I'm so when I'm going to work and the animals are next door.
Okay.
So it
Okay.
works out. And
Okay, I'm
you know,
glad. I'm glad it's not a hardship. The reason I'm asking is I was
yeah, no,
slightly worried that you were overextending yourself in
it
a
is it's
people-pleasing way.
yeah, it is a lot because they have the three cats and two guinea pigs, but because it and they change. I mean, and they live kind of far away from me, so I used to go up to their house, and it's a twice a day thing. But so now that we've established this routine where they bring everybody down, and then their dog just stays at my house.
Hmm.
I mean, she's just yeah. My other my one of my other labs though. I swear I can see that dog rolling her eyes when me and Maddie come walking up the walkway. She's just like, really? There's not enough room for a fourth dog.
That's awesome. That's
So
awesome.
it is, but it isn't. So it's but again, I do like that extra bit, and it's always cash, and then I can turn around and give it to my housekeeper. So
Okay.
because I do have to have somebody come in to just do the heavy stuff every Monday, which is I'll never give that up again.
Yeah. So you had written on your worksheet decluttering and
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, I know you make your bed every day and you do some things in the daily seven. What what's holding you back from the decluttering right now?
I just think it's a time I've got, I've got lists and there's just a lot to declutter, but I've got to get rid. I mean, I have stuff in my garage that I don't even know if you wrote that I wrote, but that I'm like the dead person depot. I have boxes and boxes from my great grandparents, from my grandparents, from a man that's not even related to us, but I ended up being his caretaker. I
Hmm.
got stuff from when he died. It's just, and and it's one of those things that's because and a lot of photos, so many boxes of photos because when you, I mean, I it's just too much stuff I've got. And even though when you come in my house is very clean, it's very organized, but God forbid, do not open that hall closet. I just avalanche down. So
Hmm.
I feel like it. I just, I'm just kind of chinking away at it. But I know my husband would like to have his garage back.
Okay. Is the way it is right now affecting your quality of life?
When I started thinking about that earlier, and it was like yesterday when it came to me, the one cluttered part that is affecting me is my closet, and where it's just where you can't get dressed quickly.
Okay, so it's a master closet.
Yeah, well, which is all mine.
Yeah.
I'm all just I get the master bedroom closet, and then my husband has the spare bedroom closet for his stuff.
Okay. And you
So
wrote that you want to go through your clothes.
yes, I have stuff in there that it's 20 years old. I'm not going to wear it. Not only does it not fit, but it's not in style. I
Ha-
just so I keep a bag at the bottom of my closet. Never know if I put something on and I hate it, then I'm making a conscious effort to throw it right back into the bag and not put it back into the closet. So
How
I'm just
how
trying to.
many hours would it take to clean out that closet?
It would take me a weekend.
So 48 hours?
No, no, but it would probably take me a full 8 hours to get everything pulled out.
So 4 hours per day
Yeah,
on a weekend?
if I wanted to do it all in one fell swoop.
If you began it, would you be able to sleep in that room if it was still in progress?
Yeah, I would just yeah,
Hmm.
I just shove it all back into the floor until the next day.
So we're not meeting
Floors.
next week because I'm out of town.
Okay.
Can I put it on your homework
Yeah.
to do
Yeah.
your
Yesterday,
closet?
when I was trying to get ready for work, it was weighing on me. I was like, this is a mess. And,
So what
you
I
know,
would like for you to do is to actually do the whole prom part between the next time we meet. So that's
come on.
2 weeks
Yeah.
because I want you to purge it, but then I want you to also remove the stuff. from the house. So do you have an organization locally that you can bring close to?
Oh yeah, yeah. I have a constant I always have a box in the garage where I'm putting things in, and then when the box is full, I take it down to the donation center, which my husband's been bugging me to do because it's my pile to donate has gotten a little big.
Okay.
So I need to do that.
Would you have relief in your body if you've accomplished this?
Yeah, I would like to pare down to where I just have clothes in my closet that I like to wear and that I can just get up and I'm not spending time thinking about it. I can just pull whatever is in there and I know I'm going to like it
Okay.
because it fits, because it's comfortable, because it looks good, you know? Right now
Okay.
it's like I think I like right now I've got so much stuff. I'm all, oh, that's cute. And I pull it out and I put it on. I'm like, oh no, not so much. And then and then you're going through the whole and then like when did this, stop fitting? So
Okay.
it's gotta happen. It's a mess. And then secondary, I need to do the same thing for my husband on his closet.
Well, can he do his own closet?
Yeah.
Hey there, Slow Down Society. Steph here, and I would like to invite you to check out the website. If you haven't been to stephanieoday.com, go there, click around, read, enjoy. I have spent the last 15 odd years writing articles to help you. Click around, add yourself to the mailing list, download the freebies. Everything's there. StephanieODEA.com. Thanks so much, and back to the show.
I'm gonna be sneaking stuff out of it though.
Okay. But what about this garage? You said he would like his garage back. What's in his quote unquote garage? Or
I just
his is what's
just
in quotes. I mean, you live
so
in his
yeah,
house.
yeah,
Okay.
it's boxes of stuff. I mean,
And
it
it's
like I said,
yours.
yeah, or my family's.
Okay.
So
So let's talk about that. You are the kind of like the museum curator of
yeah.
all of the stuff that's come. What is the long-term idea? What will happen when you die with all this stuff?
Well, what I'm thinking is just going to be getting gotten rid of. So that's what I would like to do now. I mean, the things that I wanted, I come from, I am a craft person. I come from a family of crafters. My grandfathers were woodworkers or worked with metal, and all of my grandmothers, great grandmothers painted. So the things, I don't need all of their stuff. I mean, I have chosen certain pieces that meant something, and I have those, and I use them in they're either on display or I use them in my daily life.
Hmm.
My grandpa made a lot of wood bowls and stuff, so that kind of thing. So I don't need to keep everything they ever made, and
No,
I
but
don't
the
need.
ones that are usable, the wooden bowls and stuff, should be in your house in the collection versus in a box in the garage.
Exactly. And I do have the things that I want that mean something to me. And then, it's one of those things that it just starts going year after year. I like tell my siblings, do you want to go through this? Do you want to come look? Because I've got to get rid of this stuff. And it's always, yeah, yeah, yeah. So now I just need to put a deadline and say it's gone. And I guess I just, need to be firmer.
Okay.
And the photos, oh, the photos, it's just too much. Photos of people that we'll never know who they are. It's like my grandparents traveled extensively, so they have albums of them and their friends on trips. I mean, it's
Hmm.
not like a family photo. It was their family photo.
Hmm. Can
I
you
don't know.
walk in the garage?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Uh, would you prefer something like I go through one box a week, or would you prefer I'm going to rent a dumpster and get rid of this?
Well, we do have because my husband's a roofer, so I do have my own dump trailer.
Okay.
So that is very beneficial. So I can go out and throw it. So what I would like to, I don't know, what I would like to think is, the things that like belong to my grandparents. I would like to give my siblings like, look, hey, I'm getting rid of this stuff. So you have until this day. to come look at the boxes. If you want anything taken, if not, it's either getting donated or trashed.
What would happen if you made that decision for them and wrapped up these things that you think they might like or that reminds you of them and give it to them for Christmas and give yourself kind of this end of year deadline
I like that
to go through
because I
some
haven't
stuff.
even looked in these boxes in years, so I can't
Yeah.
even remember all the stuff that's in there.
Well,
I mean, I know,
on your worksheet you had talked about budgeting and saving money and then also organizing. But if you already have these things, what would it feel like to wrap up past things?
I would love it. I'm always about a budget Christmas, and I plan on having everything done before Thanksgiving this year.
Okay,
Crafting
so
everything.
that's the first time I've heard that. Okay,
Oh yeah,
so you're giving yourself a Thanksgiving deadline?
yes, I have all of my Christmas stuff done.
Oh, to okay,
Kev, oh, do you?
Thanksgiving deadline to have your holiday shopping,
Yes,
not the garage clean.
not well. That's going to be. But if I decide to do this and to go through that, then that will play right into that November.
Okay. Okay. What would
Because I
that
like
be?
to have
What would that be
December.
like to have a completely and totally relaxed December?
Oh my
And
God, it's my fantasy. I love Christmas time. Love it. So yeah, I don't want to. Yeah, I just want to do fun things.
yeah, because you like Hallmark movies and you want to,
Yes,
yeah, you
I
want to
want to
have the
live in a
baking,
Hallmark
yeah, the
movie.
baking scene where they throw flour at each other
Yes,
because
so,
every
yeah,
movie
so
has that.
yeah, and and I haven't been able to. Well, none of us. We used to bake every year, me, my mom, my sister. So we haven't done that in a couple of years. Last year I did it with one of my girlfriends, and it was so fun. So yeah, so that's the goal, and to also be on a budget. So I already got all my nieces, got them a combined gift for Christmas. Super proud, already here, already ready. Got that on Amazon Prime. Got them a telescope. So it's
Wow,
something
that's
where it's not going
exciting.
to, not toys. They don't need any more toys. So yeah, so I'm just trying to be a little bit more conscious about getting things. Yes, I want my December to have absolutely where I can do something fun every single weekend and during the week. Go drive and look at Christmas lights, you know,
Yeah,
that kind of fun stuff. So
I want that for you also.
yeah, I want to have my own Hallmark movie.
Okay. Okay. Well, we're recording this in July.
Yes. So August, September, October, November. So that's 4 months to get that garage whipped into shape.
How does that feel? Does that feel like such a stretch goal? There's just no way.
No, no, there's always a way, you know. No, I think I can do it. I mean, it's just something I think about every time I walk out there. I mean, even though you could walk, I mean, I have the garage is fine, but it's like you go out there and you look up and there's boxes on the shelves, boxes, boxes, boxes,
Yeah.
stuff.
So, okay. And it's contributing to your kind of mental load heaviness.
Yeah, it's just yeah.
If is there a middle ground where it's not pristine minimalistic, but it's lighter and airier and you're not weighed down as much? I mean, if you have stuff in the rafters versus stuff on the floor, it
Yeah,
makes
which
sense to do the stuff on the floor first.
yeah, absolutely. And I'm by no means am I a minimalist. No, no, no. I'm
I
like,
know, but my worry is that's what is in your brain of what
yeah.
perfection.
I
And
mean,
I
I
don't
like the
want you
minimal.
to, yeah, I don't want you to have that perfectionist minimalistic.
Yeah, no, I could never. I'm definitely in my decor. I like my tchotchkes, and that's why I have somebody come in to dust for me
Okay.
because I could never get through it. But yeah, so the decluttering is definitely something that I need for my mental well-being. I
Okay.
do feel I'm just, I have so much storage space that's not being used in this house. I have this gorgeous along my hallway, this
Hmm.
super long closet. It's just I don't even know what's in there.
Yeah.
Every time we do a project, stuff gets stuck in there as a temporary basis while we do work in a room, and then it
Yeah.
just never comes back out.
Yeah.
So obviously it's not stuff that I need, so it's just that kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, what you say, you described in your own words that right now with organization, you feel buried.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just needed to chunk it out,
Okay. And then you
decide which is
also,
more important.
yeah. And then for where you want to be, you say clutter free, but clutter free isn't tchotchke free. So that's different.
Correct.
So clutter free, uh, okay. So describe then clutter free.
Clutter
Cause
free is all of this stuff that is lurking around that has not been touched, has not been used, has not even been looked at in years. It's got to go.
okay.
And I do think about, as I get older, because the house that I live in um, is the house that my dad grew up in. So this was my grandparents' home, and they bought it brand new, 1960. And after my grandparents died, my sister and I had to clean everything out. So you think about 60 years of, and when you have it was, I mean, just, it was such an overwhelming task
Hmm.
to go to get rid. I mean, we're talking bags of rubber bands. Uh, she had cases and cases of VO5 shampoo. I think she was afraid that she was not going to be able to get it anymore. But so it was a lot. So it's like, oh, it was it was just a lot to do. And we've had to do a couple of houses like that. So I just don't want to have all this stuff for somebody else to go through.
Okay.
And then I also went to a couple of estate sales over the weekend because I'm looking for a dresser that I can rehab. Oh, I'm so sorry for those people.
Okay. And it's a dresser to rehab because you need a dresser or just it's
Yeah,
a fun hobby and you want to do it?
both. We needed we're redoing the spare bedroom. We just repainted it. My husband's putting in some new baseboard. The furniture I had in there was like from Target. It was like $30 dresser. He needs a better dresser in there. And I'd rather get a vintage one that's
Mhm.
hardwood and paint it and put the hardware on it.
That's
So,
nice.
which I do like to do that. And I
Okay.
just think vintage is better.
Yeah. What's fun when I talk to you is you have so many hobbies and you want to do so many things and it's kind of like work and regular life is getting in the way.
So gets in the way, Stephanie. You just
Yeah.
don't even know.
Yeah, it's so
I do.
frustrating.
It is. When I look back, I'm like, you know, just to be a stay-at-home housewife would have been fabulous, you
Yeah.
know. But I thought, it's just funny when you're younger, you're like, I'm going to be a career woman. And now I'm like, what was I thinking? Working in the
Well, and
office
that's
all the
what's fun
time.
is everybody's different. I mean, before I got on the call with you, I was talking to a stay-at-home mom. So, yeah, who felt like there wasn't an identity, and so I suggested getting some hobbies. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
That's
um,
funny. And I just, when people retire and they say they don't know what they're going to do, I'm all, oh my God, why? What do you mean you don't know what there's so much to do, and there's not enough hours in the day. I'm sort of back to the zoo walking.
yeah. So I saw that on your sheet. What
Yeah,
does that mean? So you have a membership to the zoo.
I do. So I have a pass to the zoo, and I also have a pass for Balboa Park. And I don't know who's familiar with San Diego, but Balboa Park is gorgeous. There's 16 museums and restaurants and just open space. So with the pass, all I get to go to any of the museums for free. So I love doing that. Um, because it's also a good walking around and just doing stuff. So I do have the pass, and a lot of my girlfriend has a pass. A lot of my family members have passes because my nieces and nephews are starting to have babies, so that's always fun.
Okay.
And so yeah, and my pass, I'm allowed to bring a person, but honestly, I mean, it was nice. My girlfriend met me down at my office, so I went to work, got everything ready. checked on my shop guys, fed all the animals, and then we took off. And I just texted my boss and said I'm going to be out of the office for 2 hours. I'm, taking a early lunch and going walking. And we just headed over to the zoo and did like it was almost 3 miles at a
Yeah.
good gait as fast as you can when it's summertime at the zoo and it's really crowded. And got to see
Yeah,
the
but I
hippos.
remember that zoo. There's some hills. There's some
Oh
stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then we always they also have a big tower which is a 4-story staircase.
Okay.
So that almost killed me. So
Okay.
yeah, so it's definitely a good workout.
Good for you.
So and then probably gonna go again today. And then tonight I'm taking my mom to a floral arranging class because it sounded fun.
It does
So
sound fun. It does sound well. So that I mean, I love that. Uh, you haven't done floral arranging, but it sounds fun, and you
yeah,
just booked and you booked a class. I
yeah.
mean,
So
that's yeah,
she just yeah, it's kind of fun. All the ingredients are there. We're gonna put together some of book. I mean, I love fresh flowers, but there's just something about how when people know how to put them together just right.
yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
excited.
So last week with your allergies, it's not pollen related. You're fine with flowers in the house.
I am get allergies from the most craziest thing. A lot of times it's like last week it was just from the change in the weather when it goes from super hot and then it starts like we're gonna get like thunderstorms that we get after it rains heavily. We get a lot of stinging nettle.
Mm,
The nettle kills me, and then when I start getting the flare up, then it's the cats. Then of course the cats want to just rub in my face, but then I start getting allergic to the cats too, all the
okay.
dander. So I'm just like, but it's weird. It's weather related. It's when it rains, I'll have an allergy attack because I think sometimes that makes the pollen outside explode. But I'm not even sure. It's probably something I'll look into um, when I make sure all my other health stuff is in good place. I might want to go do an allergy test because, like I said, it wasn't until I was an adult, and sometimes it wipes me out.
Yeah.
But I mean, but I do I used to in the past would get horrible sinus infections because of the allergies. But I have not had a sinus infection since I started using one of those lavage machines.
Ooh, I saw the commercials for
Yeah.
this.
So
Yeah.
I do that every single day.
Okay. And are
So
you using distilled water and all that?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's the best thing I've ever bought.
Okay, so by distilled, are you boiling water, letting it cool, that kind of stuff, or are you buying distilled water?
I always have distilled water here because I just one of the things I have in my pantry.
Yeah.
And sometimes I just use the filtered water out of the fridge,
Uh-huh.
But they have like these the salt water pot, the little salt pods, like with eucalyptus oil in it.
Mm. Well, good.
So yeah, so it's probably something I should probably figure out. But I just right now I Navage, I Flonase, I Claritin D, and
Hmm.
then but sometimes and then sometimes I get so um like I can still see I'm still puffed up, but so I'll take some Benadryl, but then that just wipes me out. I hate taking Benadryl.
Hmm.
Like it slows me down. I don't have time to be slowed down.
And I know, ironically enough. Um, so let's talk about this health because we keep putting things off and putting it off to the back burner. And I know working with the insurance company right now hasn't been the
Yeah,
best
so
for you.
yeah, so he just got me the quotes, and then so when my bosses get back in town, I'll negotiate with them how much they're going to be paying. Um, it's just something we did not have in place for this new company because it was a very unexpected for them. So they weren't expecting to have another company and
Okay.
employees ever again, and yet
Okay.
here they are. So it's just when I quit the previous employer and I went on Cobra, I mean that was $1,100 a month. And when you're not working full time, that's just, I mean, it's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous amount of money to pay for health insurance in California.
Yeah.
But even the quote I just got for just a regular individual policy, it's 995. So it's not much better.
No, it's
It
not.
just, it kills me because I just feel like and I don't use it that much. I,
Yeah. So the Affordable Care Act doesn't work for.
no, because it's not going to be any cheaper because I don't, I'm not low income. It's and I own a home. You know, it's just the whole thing. I
Got it.
just do not qualify, and I also find it to be very intrusive. You know, I'm not giving you my tax returns so that you can see if I qualify for insurance. I'm just not
Got it.
very much against. Yeah, I'm very much against the Affordable Care Act.
Got it.
I, so it's not something I morally would like to do.
Yeah.
I already
Okay.
pay for enough other people's insurance in California, believe me.
Yeah. So knowing about these kind of like bridge health cares and knowing what's in place, um, when you're looking forward to like retirement planning and Medicare doesn't kick in until 65 and that kind of
Mm-hmm.
stuff, um, paying attention to it. So I know your husband is older, so he should be on
He's on
Medicare
Medicare.
already.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Um, not knowing like what your blood pressure is and your A1C and cholesterol and all that kind of stuff. Um, those are, you would think, health markers
Yeah.
that you
I
would
get,
want to track.
yeah. My A1C, which I know is high because I'm overweight. Cholesterol, I don't really worry so much about cholesterol. You know, I do a lot of reading. I come from a family of nurses, by the way, so we get our blood pressure taken all the time.
Wonderful.
Everybody has a blood
Yeah.
pressure
No, I'm
test.
not trying to
So
pressure
yeah,
you in
so
any way. It's just
no, so those kind of
things
things,
to
but
track to see if you're on the right
yeah, so
trajectory.
it's just I've got out of the habit. I'm very much a believer in having labs drawn, and I mean complete labs, so you can see where you're at. Because literally, when I a few years back, when my doctor was like, "Oh, your cholesterol's horrible. I want to put you on medications," and I'm like, "I don't need medications. I'll just change my diet." And he was told me it was not possible, and 6 weeks later, it was fine. It took me
Good.
six
Good
weeks
for
to
you.
reset.
Good for you.
And it's just a conscious, I mean, it's just something you have to be conscious of, but the labs help. So that's why I looked into like um because my sister, even though she has health insurance and she's a nurse, she gets her own labs drawn.
Hmm.
You know, because just little things like when I'm trying to get my labs drawn through my regular health care, they would not they would not draw a lab for vitamin D to see what my D levels were,
Yeah,
which is
that's
important for women in my age. You know, they told me just go ahead and take a supplement. We just suggest that women your age. I'm like, why would I take a supplement if I don't need it? Can we just check, please? You know, so that's why I'm looking into the Everly Well. They have these private companies that
hmm
will draw the labs and you can go from there. So that's what I'm working on right now. So I've got the health insurance, and then but I should have the health insurance back in play next week. So I
Okay,
just
so as soon as next week.
oh yeah, yeah, he already gave me he's gave me the quote, and I'll front the money and then we'll get it into place. Because my boss, she wasn't sure if they were going to put it back onto a group policy. Because my shop guys don't. I'll be the only employee that they have that needs insurance. My shop guys all have. They've always been insured under their wives. My
Hmm.
shop guys all have high power executive wives, so they have really
Okay.
good health insurance. So they've never needed it. So it'll just be me.
Okay, guys, we're going to hit pause right here and interrupt Shelly and my conversation midway through session 3. So, this is the end of episode 229. We spent a lot of time talking about healthcare and me allowing Shelly to sort of just talk and process her thoughts out loud about healthcare. She's got some pretty um, defined thoughts about healthcare. And what's interesting as the weeks play out, she softens a little bit on some of her stances, and that happens when you start talking about the same thing over and over again. Your subconscious starts like pulling at threads and unraveling some thoughts that you assumed were beliefs, and beliefs are just thoughts that you keep having over and over again until it becomes black or white. And a big part of slow living is seeing that there's lots and lots of shades of gray. So there's a few past episodes I want you to take the time to listen to if you want a little bit more. Episode 59, Thoughts on Codependency. And this one came up when I was thinking about how entwined her dad is in wanting Shelly to solve his problems. Episode 87, Worthiness and Control. And I have stated that those are two sides of the same coin. If you don't know who you are and you are continuing to do things that other people want you to do because you don't feel confident or worthy enough in your skin, at times you can be a doormat or be walked all over. So episode 87 helps with that. Episode 88, Reprogramming Internal Dialogue. This is a big one, and this is a big part of actually what happens with life coaching or any type of talk therapy is when you talk out loud, you can see what your common internal dialogue. I'm sure you as a listener have heard Shelly say a few times, healthcare in California stinks, or well, this is healthcare in California. So that's a belief. And what's interesting is there's ways around everything. So, what you might think as a fact or as a core belief can be changed and unraveled. And it's really interesting listening to that happen in real time. And then, episode 100, What is life coaching? Sometimes people say, well, I don't understand what you're doing because it doesn't sound like you're doing anything. And it's not therapy because you're not really telling her what to do or using therapy jargon. That's absolutely true. So, episode 100 talks about the differences between life coaching and therapy. I am not doing unlicensed therapy in any way. I definitely have a background in psychology and have taken lots and lots of courses on life coaching, but I am not a therapist. And if you are needing therapy, you should most reach out to a licensed therapist in your area. Okay, pretty people, as always, I think you're amazing and wonderful and kind. I'm happy you're here and we'll be back in your earbuds next week. If you are ready to start living slowly and ditch the hustle mindset for good, reach out to me. I'm a real person and you can track me down online at stephanieoday.com. Also, if you found value in this podcast, please share it with your family and friends and tag me on Instagram at Stephanie O'Day. While you're at it, go ahead and leave a positive review on your favorite podcast app. The more we share, the more people we can reach and share the slow down lifestyle and messaging. Thank you, Slow Down Society, and have a great day.